The sound of rain pattered against the windows like 1,000 tiny fingers drumming a restless beat. Sarah curled deeper into her blanket, the fabric wrapping around her like a protective cocoon. Tonight, the world outside felt vast and overwhelming, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something significant was about to happen. The air smelled of damp earth and impending change, a swirling mixture of anxiety and anticipation as she glanced around her cozy living room. The flickering glow of the fireplace cast dancing shadows that felt almost alive. Jake, her faithful chocolate lab, lay sprawled across the rug, his belly up, completely at ease. He snored softly, a sound that had always comforted her. They had been through so much together, loss, healing, laughter, and joyous moment weaving them closer together. Sarah often mused that Jake was more than a pet. He was her confidant, her rock. Just as she picked up her book, the doorbell rang, slicing through the peaceful ambience like a knife. A sense of foreboding washed over her. Who could it be at this hour? She set her book down and approached the door cautiously, her heart racing. Perhaps it was just the wind playing tricks, or maybe a neighbor with an unexpected request. Either way, curiosity pulled her closer. With each step, the suspense mounted. Something in her gut twisted, a warning bell ringing in her mind. As she reached for the doorknob, her thoughts drifted to the days that had blurred together since moving to this quiet little town. She had left behind a bustling city life, seeking solace, hoping to find a new beginning in the stillness of nature. Yet in that stillness, loneliness often crept in, making her question the very decision that had brought her here. Taking a deep breath, she opened the door, bracing herself for whatever lay beyond. And there it was, an unexpected sight and injured dog trembling on the doorstep, its fur matted and soaked from the rain. The dog's big eyes bore a haunting expression full of pain and fear. Sarah's heart twisted at the sight. "Oh no, you poor thing," she breathed, instinctively crouching down to the dog's level. Thoughts raced through her mind. How had it gotten here? Did it have an owner? Yet deep inside, she felt an unexplainable pull to help. Just then, Jake, having sensed the change in the atmosphere, bounded to her side, his tail wagging wildly. He approached the stranger with a mixture of curiosity and concern, his gentle manner radiating warmth. The new dog hesitated at first, but then took a tentative step forward, perhaps sensing that Jake meant no harm. "It's okay, buddy," Sarah whispered, already feeling her heart swell with compassion. "We'll take care of you." She ushered them both inside, thankful that her home was a safe space filled with love. As she closed the door, she glanced back at the newcomer. "Let's get you dried off and clean you up," she said softly, kneeling beside the dog and scratching gently behind its ears. The dog responded with a soft whimper, leaning into her touch. Jake's presence eased the tension. He nosed the new dog with a sense of familiarity, as if to say, "You're safe here." Together, they began the delicate process of healing each other. Sarah quickly gathered towels and warm blankets, wrapping the dog snugly, noticing the way its body relaxed under the weight of warmth and comfort. Once settled, Sarah fetched some food, watching as the newcomer hesitated, eyeing her with a mixture of gratitude and distrust. "I promise it's safe," she encouraged, her voice gentle yet firm. The new dog, after a moment, began to eat tentatively, eyes glancing up at Sarah and then back to Jake, who continued to offer support as the clock inched forward. Sarah felt something awakening inside her. Perhaps this was the purpose she'd been searching for, a chance to nurture, to help heal another being seeking refuge, much like herself. She couldn't help but think of how everything aligned that night: the storm, the doorbell, the unexpected. Visitorial of it felt significant as the first chords of a sad melody played softly on her record player. She found herself caught in an emotional trance. Each note resonated with the events of the evening, and for the first time in a while, she felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. Not out of sorrow, but something far deeper, hope. Jake approached the new dog again, initiating a gentle nudge that seemed to ease the lingering tension in the room. It was as if he knew instinctively that they were on a journey together, one that could not only mend the newcomer's wounds, but also remind Sarah of the love and companionship she desperately needed. As the night wore on, and the storm continued to howl outside, Sarah settled into her new reality filled with unexpected visitors and open doors. She knew that they would face challenges in the days to come, but in that moment, uncertainty faded away, replaced by a sense of mission and connection. Finding comfort in each other's presence. They curled up together in the dim light of the living room. It was a new beginning, one shaped by kindness, empathy, and the unbreakable bonds that connect every living being. "Welcome home," Sarah whispered softly, her heart swelling with hope as she felt the warmth of her two unlikely companions beside her. Little did she know that this was just the start of an enchanting journey that would forever change their lives. This chapter introduces an emotional scenario, while emphasizing the bond between Sarah, Jake, and the new dog. It sets the stage for further developments in the story, highlighting compassion and connection. Building trust, the dawn broke tentatively, the sun's rays weaving through the curtains like fingers seeking warmth. Sarah woke to a soft snore at her feet. She rolled over, glancing at Jake, who lay sprawled across the bed, blissfully asleep. Beside him, curled in a snug ball on her blanket, was Bella's dog she found the night before. It amazed her how quickly she had come to care for this new addition to their little family. Bella appeared to be settling in, but as Sarah carefully sat up, she noticed the new dog's eyes flutter open, filled with a blend of uncertainty and curiosity. "Good morning, sweetheart," Sarah said softly, stretching her arms and yawning. She swung her legs over the side of the bed and padded across the room. Bella followed, albeit hesitantly, taking cautious steps that made her look almost like a delicate flower unsure of the wind's intentions. Jake, sensing the morning excitement, trotted over to Bella and gave her a playful nudge, encouraging her to join the fun. The sight warmed Sarah's heart. The connection between her two dogs was building right before her eyes, drawing her into a comforting bubble filled with hope and camaraderie. After a quick breakfast for her and the dog, Sarah decided it was the perfect day for a walk in the nearby park. The sun hung high in the sky, illuminating their path with cheerful rays. Excited, Jake bolted out the door while Bella followed closely, her demeanor still tentative, as if she were unsure of what lay beyond their cozy home. The park was a local favorite, a sprawling green retreat filled with flowers and the occasional chirp of birds, a haven where nature thrived. Once they arrived, Jake darted ahead, tail wagging with abandon, while Sarah and Bella walked at a more subdued pace, the excitement of the outdoors still new and somewhat intimidating for the injured dog. "See? It's okay," Sarah cooed reassuringly to Bella, squatting to meet her at eye level. Bella regarded her, the sunlight catching the glimmer in her eyes, sparking something that felt like a connection. Yet the world outside still held a hint of apprehension for the newcomer. Just then, Jake returned, bounding around like a joyful whirlwind. He approached Bella, encouraging her to join in the fun. He nudged her playfully with his nose, as if to say, "Don't be shy, come explore with us." Bella hesitated but then took a few cautious steps forward, closing the gap between. Then with each little nudge from Jake, Bella began to loosen up. Sarah watched in amazement as Bella cautiously approached the nearest tree, sniffing at the base before looking back at Sarah, her tails tentatively wagging. "See? You're doing it," Sarah cheered, her voice filled with excitement. Bella's ears perked up, as though she were soaking in every word. Encouraged by Sarah's enthusiasm and Jake's unfiltered joy, Bella ventured further, taking in the sights and sounds around here, a curious pup discovering a new world. As they explored, Sarah felt that spark of connection between them growing stronger. She marveled at how Jake had assumed the role of mentor, guiding Bella as they meandered through the park. It struck her how important this moment was, not just for Bella, but for herself as well. They stumbled upon a small pond where the sunlight danced off the water's surface. Jake wasted no time, splashing into the shallow edge, barking gleefully as droplets flew everywhere. Bella stayed back initially, watching in wide-eyed wonder. "Come on, Bella, it's fun," Sarah encouraged. Bella took a cautious step toward the water, then another, her instincts clearly battling her hesitation. Finally, something clicked and she boldly stepped forward, joining Jake in the shallow waves. The two dogs played together, their joyful barks echoing through the air, filled with unadulterated bliss. Sarah laughed, her heart swelling with pride as she saw Bella finally begin to embrace the joy of being a dog, unburdened by past fears. But just as she felt the day couldn't get any better, the atmosphere shifted. A distant rumble of thunder echoed across the sky, and clouds began to gather ominously, darkening the cheerful palette of the sunlit park. "Oh, looks like we might have to head back," Sarah called out, concern threading through her voice. She watched as Jake and Bella continued to splash energetically, unaware of the impending storm. Each moment felt vital. She wanted Bella to experience as much joy as possible before they had to retreat. As they trotted back toward home, the clouds overhead swirled and thickened, the wind picking up, sending leaves dancing through the air. Sarah felt a knot of worry tighten in her stomach. She didn't want to rush their newfound bond, but nature seemed to have its own plans. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning crashed violently across the sky, followed by a shout of thunder that shook the ground beneath them. Bella jumped, her aunt's attentive demeanor transforming into sheer fright. She looked to Sarah, her eyes wide with panic as she pressed against her leg. "It's okay, Bella," Sarah soothed, kneeling down and wrapping her arms around the trembling dog. "It's just a storm. You're safe with me." Jake, still oblivious to Bella's fear, immediately turned to comfort her, showering her with licks and nudges, trying to coax her back to calm. Despite the confidence of her reassuring words, Sarah felt her own anxiety rising. She needed to get them home before the storm intensified. She stood, maintaining her hold on Bella, who strained against her grasp, clearly wishing to flee from the chaos. "I know it's scary, but we'll be okay. Trust me," Sarah urged, her voice steady despite the growing storm. Jake led the way toward home, his instincts guiding him as the wind howled around them. As they hurried back, Sarah's heart raced in unison with the storm. The sky opened up and rain began to pour, drenching them in moments. Bella shivered beside her, feeling the drumming of raindrops echoing her own fright. They arrived at the door, breathless, just as the wind howled its fiercest. Jake dashed inside with a sense of relief, while Bella hesitated at the threshold. The sound of the storm raged behind them, but the cozy warmth of their home lay ahead. "It's okay, Bella, you're safe now," Sarah whispered again, gently coaxing the dog inside. As soon as they crossed the threshold, a wave of comfort enveloped them, drowning out the ferocity of the storm outside. They all collapsed onto the rug, drenched but safe. Sarah wrapped a towel around Bella, who lay shaking beside her. Jake, still full of energy, wagged happily, ready to play even amidst the chaos. "See? You made it," Sarah said, her heart swelling with pride. She took a moment to gather her thoughts, feeling the weight of the day's events. Bella had been so brave, but she still had a long way to go. As the storm raged on outside, the three of them formed a makeshift familiar circle of warmth and love amidst the howling winds. Sarah felt a renewed sense of purpose, while Bella clung to her still. Jake laid his head in Sarah's lap, and she gently stroked Bella's fur, telling them both, "You're safe here. Nothing is going to hurt you." The evening drifted on, filled with the sound of raindrops beating against the windows. Sarah realized that building trust and connection wouldn't happen overnight. It was a journey, one they would take together. And she was determined to see Bella through every twist and turn. In that moment, she knew that true companionship was forged in the fires of adversity. Each trial they faced would only strengthen their bond, and as the storm continued to howl outside, the love inside their little home blazed fiercely. Sarah smiled down at her faithful companions. "We've got each other," she whispered, her heart warm with affection, "and that's all we need." And so, nestled together, they braved the storm as a family, ready to face whatever came next. The storm within the next morning dawned quietly, the remnants of last night's storm lingering as a gentle mist hung in the air. Sunlight filtered through the clouds, creating an ethereal glow that painted the room in warm yellows and soft blues. Sarah stretched and sat up, her gaze sweeping over the peaceful scene in her bedroom. Jake lay sprawled on the floor, his paws twitching as if still dreaming of chasing rabbits. Beside him, Bella curled in a tight ball, breathing steadily. The chaotic night felt like a distant memory, yet the bond between them had tightened, forming an unspoken agreement that they would look out for one another, come what may. Just as Sarah rose to prepare breakfast, she felt a twinge of unease settle in her stomach. The storm from the night before had left its mar not just outside, but within her as well. She was filled with a mix of gratitude and uncertainty. Despite the progress Bella had made, Sarah knew the road ahead would be bumpy. They went through their morning routine, and Sarah noticed Bella watching her with cautious eyes, still wondering if she could fully trust this new life. Sarah approached, slowly kneeling to Bella's level, and stroked her soft fur. "You know you're safe with us, right?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Bella looked up, tilting her head, as if trying to decipher Sarah's words. Jake, sensing the moment, padded over to Bella, thumping his tail against the floor. It was as if he was saying, "Join us. We're a family now." After breakfast, Sarah decided they needed some fresh air to shake off the remnants of the storm. She gathered up leashes and treats, excited for their first proper outing since the night of the storm. The thought of a sunny walk in the park brought a flood of hope. As they stepped outside, the world felt renewed. Trees glistened with droplets, and the air smelled fresh and invigorating. But as they approached the park, a dark cloud seemed to gather in Sarah's mind. What if Bella wasn't ready for all of this? "Stay close, okay?" she said as they began to walk, her voice a mixture of reassurance and worry. Jake bounded ahead, his energy infectious, guiding Bella with his playful spirit. Yet Sarah observed Bella closely, noticing the way she hesitated at every new sound, the rustle of leaves, the barks of other dogs, the distant laughter of children playing. As they reached the park, Sarah felt a tension building inside, here a reflection of Bella's trepidation. She longed to provide the comfort and safety Bella desperately needed. They chose a quieter corner of the park, where the soft grass cushioned their steps. Jake wasted no time, diving into the grass to roll joyously while Sarah encouraged Bella to join them. "It's okay, Bella, just be yourself," she urged. Yet, Bella stood rooted to the spot, watching Jake in a mixture of confusion and awe. Then a sudden burst of barking erupted from behind them. Sarah turned to see a group of rowdy dogs charging toward her, tails wagging wildly, and adrenaline surged through her veins. Jake, ever the sociable one, greeted them with excitement, but Bella froze, eyes wide with fear. "No." Sarah shouted instinctively, but it was too late. Bella bolted. She dashed away, her instincts overpowering her caution, running deeper into the park, lost in a maze of unfamiliar scents and sounds. "Bella, no!" Sarah called, panic gripping her heart. Jake sensed the shift in the atmosphere and looked back, confusion evident on his face. Sarah took off after Bella, her heart pounding as she weaved through the trees and bushes, fear building with every step. Bella darted through the park, the chaos of barking dogs and laughter only exacerbating her panic. Sarah could barely see her through the throng of people, her breath coming in ragged gasps. "Bella!" she cried, desperation threading her words. Suddenly, Bella skidded to a halt, her body rigid, eyes darting back and forth. She was surrounded by other dogs bounding toward her with excitement, barking as though she was a part of their pack. But for Bella, it was a nightmare. Sarah finally reached her, breathless and terrified. "It's okay, Bella, I'm right here." She crouched down, arms outstretched, but Bella merely looked at her, confusion mixing with fear. She took a step back, losing her balance and landing on the soft grass. At that moment, Jake approached, noticing his new friend's unease. He wagged his tail vigorously, his friendly demeanor radiating reassurance. It was as if he were saying, "Come on, Bella. We're all friends here." Sarah watched in awe as Jake orchestrated a gentle approach, slowly moving closer to Bella, enticing her with his playful demeanor. Bella's instincts started to soften. Sarah could see the inner battle waging within her. "Trust us, Bella," Sarah said softly, keeping her gaze locked on the frightened dog. The world was a chaotic storm around them, but in that moment, all that mattered was building a bridge of trust. Slowly, Bella took a hesitant step forward, watching Jake closely. She nudged him with her nose, and a moment later, sparks of joy ignited between the two dogs. The energy shifted, and it felt like the weight of the world was lifting off Bella's small shoulders. Just then, a sudden loud clap of thunder rumbled in the distance. Bella jumped again, her fear resurfacing like a tidal wave. Sarah's heart sank. This wasn't just about the storm brewing outside. It was about confronting her own fears and the burdens Bella carried. Hey, come back to me," Sarah urged, extending her arm. "You're safe here." Bella hesitated, panic flaring in her eyes once more, but Jake boldly stepped forward, circling her as if to tell her, "You don't have to be alone." Seeing the new dog struggle, Sarah crouched down and called to her with a soothing tone. "It's just a sound, Bella. You're not alone. We're a family now. Remember the storm? We faced it together." The bond they shared would be instrumental in overcoming this tempest of emotions. Bella took another cautious step forward, nudging Jake reassuringly, taking in the comfort of their unity. Sarah felt her heart swell with hope as she recognized. The moment of connection look in Bella's eyes shifted from fear to trust. As the thunder rumbled again, the dark cloud looming in Sarah's mind began to dissipate. The storm within her that had raged for so long was slowly yielding to the realization that this journey didn't have to be faced alone. No matter how daunting the world seemed, they would weather it together. "I'm right here," Sarah whispered, the weight of her own fears lifting as she tucked Bella's trembling face into her hands gently. "You're safe and I'll always be here for you." The minutes stretched into an eternity, but slowly, Bella began to relax. She leaned into Sarah's touch, her body warming under the steady hand of reassurance. Jake sat beside them, tail wagging, feeling the beautiful shift that transpired within that circle of trust as they continued to embrace each other amid the outside chaos. Sarah felt a renewed sense of purpose surge through her veins. This wasn't just about Bella's journey. It was about the dance they all engaged in, a beautiful harmony that threaded through their lives like the sun breaking through clouds. With Jake by their side, Sarah finally stood up, her confidence restored. "Shall we?" she asked, a grin breaking across her face as she glanced between her two companions. Bella looked up, courage beginning to bloom where fear had once ruled, and with that, they ventured onward into the park, transformed by understanding, and a deeper bond ready to face the world again. The lingering echoes of thunder served merely as a reminder of the strength they discovered within one another, lessons stitched into the fabric of their fledgling family. As they continued their walk, laughter floated through the air, mingling with the sounds of the park. Together they embraced whatever came next, knowing that love and loyalty would guide their way, illuminating even the darkest of paths. Their journey had only just begun, but already they had found something precious: trust in one another. Even amid the storms of life, a day remembered. The morning sun rose lazily, casting a warm golden hue over Sarah's small home. She stared out the kitchen window, watching as the dew-kissed grass glittered in the light. The previous day's events had left her feeling both exhausted and invigorated. Bella and Jake had bonded beautifully, and for the first time Sarah felt a deep sense of hope for their future. Today felt different, charged with potential. She had decided it was time to take Bella into the local shelter to volunteer, an experience she hoped would be beneficial for the new dog as well. After all, what better way to help Bella build trust and confidence than by giving love and care to other animals in need? "Ready for an adventure?" Sarah asked, looking down at Bella, who was seated patiently by her side. Jake wagged his tail excitedly, picking up on the excitement in Sarah's voice. They had all come such a long way together, and this day would be another stepping stone on their journey. After a quick breakfast and leashing them up, they piled into the car. Sarah glanced in the rearview mirror, catching Bella's reflection. She looked both curious and apprehensive, much like how Sarah had felt when she had first moved to this town. The thought spurred a deep empathy within her. Once they arrived at the shelter, a wave of warmth and anticipation surged through Sarah. Volunteers bustled about, and the sounds of barking dogs filled the air. As she parked the car, she felt a twinge of nervousness mixed with excitement. Would Bella be okay in this environment? As they entered the shelter, Sarah was instantly enveloped by the energy of the placid heartbeats of countless animals, all waiting for love and companionship. Bella stood close to Sarah, her body tense but curious. Jake, ever the social butterfly, trotted ahead, his powerful tail wagging vigorously. "Let's get started," Sarah encouraged. She began by showing Bella around, introducing her to the other dogs through their cages, trying to motivate her with treats and encouraging words. Bella hesitated at first, her eyes wide with apprehension. Sarah could see her trying to gauge the friendliness and intentions of all the barking pups. As they worked, Sarah felt a familiar warmth in her heart, a recognition of how far Bella had come. Though she still had her fears, she was beginning to open up with Sarah guiding her. After settling into her role as a volunteer, Sarah noticed a dog in particular. Stray Scouts had named him Max. He was a big, powerful dog with soulful eyes that spoke of sorrow and loneliness. Something about him tugged at Sarah's heartstrings, reminding her of Bella before she had found her. "Let's see if we can help him," Sarah said to Bella and Jake. With a gentle push, she led them over to Max's enclosure. Bella stayed close, watching Sarah attentively. Jake, sensing the mission, eagerly pressed against the gate, wagging his tail. "Hi there, big guy," Sarah addressed Max, kneeling down to his level. "You're a handsome fella, aren't you?" As she spoke, Max's demeanor softened. His big brown eyes met hers with a flicker of hope. Sarah reached through the bars, offering him a treat. He sniffed her hand and then, with a cautious lick, accepted her gift. Bella watched the interaction closely, her curiosity piqued but her own insecurity lingering. "See, Bella? He's just like you, needs a little love and trust," Sarah murmured, glancing back at her dog. Bella stepped forward slightly, watching Max's demeanor evolve. It was as if she sensed his story, felt the pain mirrored within her own past. They spent the next hour fostering connections with various dogs, and each successful interaction fueled Sarah's confidence. Then, suddenly, a loud crash erupted from the back room, shattering the serene atmosphere. The noise made Bella jump, her body tense and eyes wide. "What was that?" Sarah quickly asked, her heart racing. The volunteers exchanged worried glances, and chaos rippled through the shelter. Just a shelf collapsing. One volunteer said dismissively, but Sarah could feel tension rising. Dogs began barking frantically, agitated by the sudden upheaval. "Bella!" Sarah kneeled down, staring into her eyes. "It's okay. We need to stay calm." But Bella was already trembling, her instincts taking over as she backed away and dashed toward the exit. "No!" Sarah called, her voice a mixture of panic and urgency. Bella sprinted away, bolting past the other volunteers, wide-eyed and desperate. Sarah sprang into action, her heart pounding as she tore after her. "Jake, stay!" she shouted over her shoulder. Jake, sensing Sarah's distress, barked loudly, but he remained close, watching as his sister darted toward the door as Sarah burst outside. The cool afternoon air hit her face, and a wave of adrenaline surged through her veins. Where had Bella gone? The parking lot was bustling with activity, and she could barely make sense of where Bella might have fled. "Bella!" she called, her voice echoing through the chaos. The sound of barking dogs mixed with panicked shouts filled the air, creating a cacophony that threatened to drown out her plea. Then she spotted her. Bella had darted behind a row of parked cars, trembling and panting. A rush of relief flooded through Sarah, but it quickly turned to concern. Bella looked frightened and uncertain, backing away as if the world had become overwhelming. "Bella, please," Sarah pleaded, squatting down and holding out a treat, hoping to coax her back. "You're safe with me. Come here." Bella hesitated, her body language screaming uncertainty. Just then Max, the big dog from before, appeared beside Sarah, drawn to the chaos. He stood at her side, exuding a calm energy. "Max, help me," Sarah called. She wasn't sure how a big dog could help in this situation, but she hoped his gentleness would ease Bella's fear, as if understanding the unspoken cue. Max approached Bella slowly, his large frame somehow appearing less intimidating than usual. He gave a low, soothing growl, as if to say, "It's okay, we're friends." "Here." Bella's gaze shifted from Sarah to Max, and for the first time she began to lower her guard. The bond that had formed between these two dogs felt palpable, and Sarah watched in awe as Bella took a tentative step forward. "Good girl, Sarah," encouraged softly, holding her breath as she witnessed this moment of bravery unfold. Bella nudged Max's leg and then turned back to Sarah, a flicker of determination igniting within her. "Come on, Bella. You can do it." Sarah cheered, her heart swelling as she slowly inched closer, still holding out the treat. Another step, and then another, until finally Bella was just a heartbeat away from Sarah, her body quaking but her resolve growing stronger. "See? You're safe," Sarah whispered, reaching out and wrapping her arms around Bella as she finally moved into her embrace. The relief was palpable, and Sarah felt the weight of anxiety lift. Max stood by their side, radiating warmth and calm, strengthening the sanctuary Sarah couldn't quite express but was forming between them. The chaos around them began to mellow, and as the ringing of barks and voices faded, Sarah realized how precious this moment was. Bella was growing, learning that she was safe, loved, and cherished. But just as Sarah was settling into this beautiful moment of triumph, another loud crash echoed from inside the shelter, followed by an uproar of agitated barking. Sarah's heart sank. What was happening? "Stay here," she ordered Bella, stepping back into the shelter with purpose. The chaotic scene was overwhelming, and she fought against the tide of barking dogs in an attempt to find out what caused the latest commotion, rushing into the entryway. She spotted a shelf that had fallen over, scattering kennels and high-pitched yelps everywhere. The volunteers worked frantically to calm the dogs, who were frenzied from the noise and disruption. "Is everyone okay?" Sarah asked, her voice rising above the chaos. "Yeah, just a minor accident. We'll handle it," one volunteer shouted. Backed out, not willing to sit idle while chaos ensued, Sarah quickly noted dogs who needed reassurance, recalling her own experience from earlier. She began comforting and calling them one by one while Jake joined in, his friendly disposition easing. The atmosphere died, but Sarah's instincts were already on high alert. Something deeper simmered beneath this chaos, and she could feel a sense of urgency within her. "Bella, stay close," she reiterated, giving her new dog all the comfort she could muster. Once the immediate danger was contained, Sarah turned her attention back to the scene, searching for ways to help calm the agitated animals. Outside, Max stood patiently among the listless dogs, watching Sarah with an air of understanding. It struck Sarah that perhaps he knew something she didn't about trust, connection, and the strength of relationship when adversity strikes. Feeling renewed determination, Sarah took a deep breath and began to orchestrate calmness amidst the chaos. With every dog she reassured, every wagging tail, she felt her bond with Bella and Jake grow even stronger. The noise eventually faded to a low hum, the shelter slowly returning to its rhythm. As Sarah gathered her dogs to regroup by the exit, she felt a sense of accomplishment vibrate in the air. Despite the upheaval, she had triumphed, and so had Bella Dot. As they stepped outside into the golden evening light, Sarah breathed deeply, releasing the tension built up within her. Bella, leaning against her leg, glanced up, eyes wide and trusting. "I'll always keep you safe," Sarah whispered softly, soothing her trembling companion. Just then, she felt a warmth wash over her, as Max appeared beside them, patiently watching. In that moment, surrounded by newfound friends and the calming glow of the setting sun, Sarah knew that this day would be etched into her memory, filled with challenges. Yes, but ultimately a testament to the strength of love and trust forged in the fires of adversity. And as they walked together toward their car, returning home as a family, she couldn't shake the feeling that today was merely the beginning. Together, they would face whatever came next, navigating through life's storms with confidence and love, side by side. Sarah smiled, knowing that even amidst chaos, the bonds they had created would withstand anything. Little did she know that their next adventure was only just around the corner, waiting to unfold in ways she could never imagine.